silence, the sugar-coated lies. Another headline screaming behind vacant eyes. They build up their walls so high and so strong, but the truth's gonna break through before too long. Every single day, the same damn old game, pointing all the fingers, nobody takes the blame. This pressure's building, it's starting to crack. Ain't no turning back now, ain't no holding back. I'm about to say it, yeah, I'm about to scream. Tired of the fake smiles, living in a dream. The real life's bleeding out in the cold. Gotta break the mold, gotta let it unfold. I'm about to say it, every single word. The uncomfortable truth finally gonna be heard. I'm gonna say it.
Hey everybody, first and foremost, let me apologize because I didn't do a show yesterday, but it was Valentine's Day. I was giving you all a break and allowing you to spend time with your significant other. Or if it was a Galentine weekend for you and your homegirls, I'll let you spend time with your homegirl. So, hold on, y'all. Wife or just want me? Okay. All right. So if you spent it with your homegirls and y'all went out and was cooling out and celebrating each other independence and being single, hey, happy Galentine Day to you all as well. And I hope and pray that those that are in that position don't feel like you got to rush into a marriage or rush into a relationship. So even if you aren't fortunate enough to be in a relationship, listen, there's no knock on you and don't rush it. I also want to make sure I pass along this information, and I'm telling you because it worked for me. Bestie Lori, welcome in. Oh, and Simply Kim, welcome in. I didn't say hey to you. Hey, good morning, and thank you for. Is it morning? No, good afternoon, and thank you for coming in. But don't rush it. I've come to realize that when you're not looking for it, and then it just genuinely matures into a bond between you and someone else, then that's the best type of thing there is. All right. So we don't want to go out and push and fabricate or force anything because that's when things don't work out like they're supposed to, y'all. And forgive me if y'all see me rubbing my ear. I was shaving a couple of days ago, a couple of nights ago, and the razor slipped and I accidentally sliced a piece of my ear. And it's like it hurts. It hurts and it itches too because it's like scabbing up too. So but it hurts. I'll tell you this though, I got more damage to my ear from accidentally slicing it with a razor than an older white T man that was on stage in Pennsylvania who allegedly was almost procrastinated. If you get what I'm saying. And he had no, and supposedly he got hit by a high power ammo. And I got more damage to my ear just by nicking it with a razor than he got allegedly being nicked by high power ammo. How how does that happen? I know that's what I'm saying too as well. But while we're talking about him, let's stay on him because earlier this morning we had service and worship service. Our pastor, shout out to the great pastor Philip Anthony Mitchell for the word and for his blessings and just the way he delivers the word to us. But he was touching on something in today's worship service, and I couldn't help but to realize the uncanny similarity to what we're seeing today. And I'm gonna walk y'all through it real quick. So we are in Matthew, the book of Matthew, and it's been on it for for about 3 years now. But we're coming up on the end of it, and he calls that the cross of the commission, right? And so we're coming up on the time, a few days, right, when Jesus is about to be crucified. But while he was talking, and while he was giving us the word, he mentioned how Pilate did not want to crucify Jesus. He didn't want, he knew that he was innocent and done no wrong. But however, he had this angry mob of people outside that was just totally dead set on crucifying Christ, by being called um, King of the Jews. And so, in any event, he knew he didn't do anything wrong. He knew that Jesus was about to be, that these people wanted Jesus wrongfully crucified. And he said, look, I'm wiping my hands of it. I have nothing to do with it. And he walks off. And so, but what he, before that, he asked these people, this base that was chanting and screaming, this angry crowd. And they were saying, he had brought out a guy by the name of Barabbas. And Barabbas was a known unaliver. All right. He was known as an insurrectionist. But the people, and he asked them, do y'all want to let Barabbas go, or do you want Jesus to be let go? And the people, so angry at Jesus for no reason, but they were angry at him, they chose to let Barabbas go, who was a known unaliver and an insurrectionist. And I got to thinking how eerily it is that we've seen this happen in present times. And you're saying, hold on now. What do you mean by that, Mr. Breaking News? Hold on. What are you saying? Okay, well, let me walk you through it. Allow me to walk. Y'all got a few minutes today? Y'all got a few minutes? Let's talk about some things. And we're going to deep dive and we're going to get a little dark. But these things need to be talked about. And that's what we do here at hashtag I'm going to say it. We go into the places and spaces that people are afraid to go into. Now think about it. Knowing, thank you, Rudy, knowing that Barabbas was an unaliver and an insurrectionist. Well, if we go back to J6, weren't there a whole bunch of angry mob insurrectionist people at our capital? Well, you could easily say that those people that was at the bottom of the stairs and in the yard up there, the mass of people where Pilate had these people, had Jesus and Barabbas up there. You could say that those same people down on the bottom was equivalent to the insurrectionist people on J6. And we can easily call them smurderers. How can we do that? Lori said, nothing but time, Bessie. I love you to life, girl. Thank you. I'm glad you rocking with me. Y'all go ahead and share out this live, because we're going to do some work today. We're going to piss some people off today. But hey, that's what the truth is designed to do, it seems like nowadays. Because we live in a time where people want to not be transparent. We can even say that the people that were insurrectionists or insurrectionist people, however you want to say it or however you get the message, those people, J6 outside of our capital, were murderers. As the pastor said Barabbas was. How can you say that? Well, did not law enforcement officers pass away from that event, from that heinous event? So that's how we could say that those are murderers as well. And hey, so Barabbas ended up getting off, right? They voted to let him go. They gave him a pass. They let him go, even though he had committed these crimes. Am I right or wrong? Well, hold on. Didn't someone take office and pardon all of those insurrectionists and murderers from J6. And so people say, how can you say that the Bible is telling the truth? And I have to push back and ask you, how can you not see that some of the or a lot of the things that's stated in the Bible you're witnessing right now, unless you have your third eye closed? You see it happening. Let's go a bit further with this, shall we? Now, when they had Jesus, after they had let Barabbas go, and Pilate said, okay, he is to be crucified. Although he didn't want to, although he didn't agree with it, he said, okay, he's to be crucified. And so these Roman people take Jesus and they take him into another area, another room away from everybody else, and they beat him savagely. You see, it wasn't enough. It wasn't bad enough. It wasn't good enough for those people to know that they got the opportunity to crucify Jesus on the cross. You see, that wasn't bad enough for them. They had to inflict more pain on him. I was telling my wife today when we was watching worship service, I said, man, there's so many things that relate to what's going on now that he's talking about. But as if that wasn't savage enough, that they were granted their own right to put nails in the wrist of Jesus. And I know people say hands, but it was actually his wrist, if you pay attention, and his feet. That wasn't good enough for them. So they beat him. They beat him so bad you could barely he was beyond recognition. They hit him with things, they had these metal prongs on him that tore the flesh. They spat on him. They put a crown of woven thorns, embedded it in Jesus's head. And I had to stop and think during worship service today. Wow. How is that so relatable to today? And I'm going to tell you how. Because we are now finding out that prominent, high official or elite people have done the most heinous things possible. John Wells, what's up with you, brother? Glad you made it in. You see, so there's the politicians, the CEOs, the people that are in this elite group that we are now finding out through these files really aren't much different from those Romans who were supposed to only follow orders of Pilate and crucify Jesus. But they didn't follow the orders. Don't that sound like somebody by the number of 47 that just doesn't follow the law or the orders of his position? And so they take Jesus into the other room. They torture him after they beat him and broken his body and it's sliced up with all of this stuff. They take this heavy robe and they put it on him. And it's just pressing. It's heavy on these open wounds and these cuts and all these things. He's got the spit dripping down his face. But that's not what Pilate told them to do. He only said to crucify. That was the only rendering that he gave. But they did not follow the laws or the commandments that Pilate gave. It wasn't enough for them to just crucify him and that be it. No. It wasn't. They mocked him. They beat him. They beat him beyond recognition. And so it just shows you the savagery, the thirst for savagery that they had. And now that these Trumpstein files are coming out, we are finding out that it's far more sinister than what we thought. It's more than just raping people not the age of consent. It's more than just raping and taking advantage of young ladies. It's more than just taking advantage and raping and essaying boys that's not the age of consent. It's more than just stealing money from different places. The deeper we go into these Trumpstein files, we see that we have savagery for unaliving people in the most heinous of ways. We're finding out that there's a hunger for savagery, that they're torturing people in the most heinous ways. You see how these things correlate with each other? We are over 2,000 years before. I mean, we're 2,000 years after what happened to Jesus. Over 2,000 years. And so there's also something sinister that is coming out now with these files. There's more of an abundance that's coming out, like it's coming out heavy. And it's the cannibalism that these sick, demented people have a sick, wicked fetish for. And so not only is it them, we have restaurants that we often go to with our families to have a family outing and grab a bite to eat, thinking while we're eating cow, or eating the way that God intended us to eat, only to find out what we think we're eating, what they've led us to believe that we're eating, is nothing of what we thought it was. But they are causing a lot of people to participate in their sick, twisted, heinous fetish of cannibalism. And you could take that H off and add the C. We're just trying to make sure we get this message out. So we're trying to do it in a way that TikTok won't trip on us. And TikTok, since you're listening, this is only for educational purposes. Okay. So now these people that are going to these places, one specific restaurant that I won't name on here because we'll just say it's got golden arches, right? But the thing about it is they're the number one seller. I mean, the number one buyer of all of this. When people we can't find no more happen to be grinded up and put in a patty form. If you follow me, put a 1 in the live. I got to talking riddles, y'all. I got to talking riddles, but I need you to pick it up. I need you to pick it up because understand, we've gotten to see interviews of people not the age of consent telling us what they've seen with their own innocent eyes. And I'm here to tell you all, yes, Simply Kim, hospitals do it too. Demetrius Supreme, Green Solvent, you know it. You know that these people that's not the age of consent don't possess the mind frame to create a false story like this. And you would do well to stop playing like you don't have the wherewithal to know that. You would do well if you would start to open your third eye and see what's going on. And stop chalking it up to, well, that's just conspiracy. Well, you don't know what you're talking about. Well, let me tell you. Here's what I've heard. Here's what I've seen. I've seen multiple people that's not the age of consent, male and female, talk about what they saw and what goes on at these parties. I've listened to an interview of a rabbi sit here and tell you not only that they do it, he also told you their favorite time of rounding up people not the age of consent, and what they do to them, the process from the time that they snatch them, grind them, and to the highest buyer, most dedicated buyer, you know, with the golden arches. He tells you. So now, you know, I need to call and tell. I have a friend. I've had a friend since third grade. I'm just going to call her Amy. I'm not going to say her last name. We're not going to do all that. But, hey, Demetrius said it may be Alf. It may be Alf, which is a whole nother story we can get into. Big Mel, what's up with your brother? Said Michael Jackson wasn't the villain. He was not. He was saving those people that's not the age of consent, or that weren't the age of consent. He was saving, but they turned it on him and demonized him. Y'all, we about to go through here, man. We about to get serious. And like I said, share out the live, man. Double tap that screen. If you sent the heart me, make sure you go back and claim your points. Because you need your points and your coins. And if you haven't subscribed, I don't know what you're waiting for. Because this is what we do. We go into those places and talk about those things that people don't want to do. They're afraid to do. So here's the thing. We're going to open up today's show with a segment. Be the light. What's up with you, brother? Welcome in. With a segment from a lady. And she, look, listen, and this was, I think, what, 11 months ago? I think it was 11 months ago. Let me make sure I'm telling you right, because I don't want to tell you. Yes, it was 11 months ago. And so this was long before these files became a thing. This is about a year before. When I say these files became a thing, no, we've known about the file. I'm talking about when we get to the Hannibalism part. And for those that just came in, when I say Hannibalism, I want y'all to take that H off and add that C. Okay, we're just saying Hannibalism for the sake of the platform. But now understand it. This was put on Patreon. Now, if you know what Patreon is, a lot of times, not all the time, but a lot of times, Patreon, you have content creators that go on there and do videos because it's not under the eye of Big Brother. It's not so much as governed to conform to what you're talking about. You see what I'm saying? Right, Big Mayor. He said on Patreon, you get the exclusive, right, pure, uncut. They say what they need to say. Hashtag they gonna say it. And they don't have to worry about it. I might need to indulge in a Patreon myself now that I speak that out and I hear it. But this was 11 months ago.